This Cleveland Browns team preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
Hey, this is Brandon Lang. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money Graham with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Already catching a lot of hate in the DMs about our negative energy towards the Saints.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
They're Saints fans.
Well, I think what happened is everyone's just waiting for football and they see the team previews and it's like, all right, we're back. And yeah, not happy about the, maybe I'm just centralizing my thoughts about Man in the Box, who is very much pushing a narrative out there.
How high is he on the Saints, Ryan?
Too high. Too high.
Yeah. So we're not super high on the Saints. With good reason. We walk through that. Check that out. The team preview. We are in the middle of it. 2 days from now until the 32 NFL team previews are done, which means talking a lot of National Football League, and we have brought it back. The phrase that pays. That's right. Each team preview episode, we will reveal one word from a 32 word phrase. You assemble all the 32 words in order to reveal the phrase that pays. Submit that. One lucky viewer listener will get $1,000 circa NFL future.
I do not know the phrase that pays.
No, Kramer. It is a complete mystery to him as well. Kramer, have you been playing along?
Yes, I plan on keeping my own.
Okay.
Yeah, to show everyone how easy it is.
Now, the guy who last year he had Eagles, Chiefs, Lions division parlay with the 49ers. I tried to talk him out of the 49ers in the parlay. He wouldn't listen. Unfortunately, didn't get home. But again, you can do whatever you want. Maybe enter it Circa Million, Circa Survivor. But Ryan, this today's episode, phrase that pays. The word is sweet. The word is sweet.
SWEET.
Yes. Like, for some of our audience who can't spell sweet. So enjoy.
You suggesting that Cleveland fans can't spell sweet?
No, more just our overall audience, which may include some Browns fans. Shout out to the Brownies.
We skew way more sophisticated than the average person would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
there's still some mouth breathers out there. I'm just saying.
All right. Joining us on the line to talk all things Cleveland Browns from the Big Play Network. Big Play Dave himself. Dave, always appreciate the annual tradition. You hopping on talking Brownies. How we feeling about the Cleveland Browns this year?
We're feeling sweet.
There you go. That's perfect.
That is.
I feel like I was just on here doing a preview for last year. That went real well.
Well, now if I recall, Ryan, and
we have receipts.
We'll do a little recap from last year. What did we have the Browns last year, Ryan? Because I'm pretty sure we were both on the over.
I'm just gonna pull it up because we have receipts and not good.
I had them 9-8, Kramer 10-7.
Not good.
They ended up going, unfortunately, 3-14, 4-13 ATS. The win total last year was 8.5. Obviously cashed the under there.
We were high on them.
Yes. And I don't know where Dave was at. He was not sky high, if I can recall. Dave,
I think I was at 8. At 8. And I said that I'll never go above 8 ever again.
This is good. We all have lessons learned from last year.
Well, and last year, a lot of it is, hey, Deshaun Watson, what's going to happen? A lot of questions about the quarterback position. And hey, there was some optimism the year before. Hey, Joe Flacco, it was tough to predict because, hey, if you put Joe Flacco in that offense once again, you could be optimistic. But if we get Deshaun Watson, we're not going to be optimistic. They get rid of Joe Flacco. Deshaun Watson, it's just a complete disaster of a season. But now it feels like Deshaun Watson's gone, even though he is technically still on the roster.
He's also mentoring Shedeur.
Shedeur Sanders. The Browns trade out of the 2 pick, go down to 5. Let's just start with there. Dave, what was your reaction to the Browns not taking Travis Hunter and instead trying to accumulate some draft picks and go with Mason Graham?
We don't have enough quarterbacks to throw to Travis Hunter. So
yes. All right.
Wait, yes, we do. We have like 12. Annual tradition, disappointment. Julio Jones, Sammy Watkins flashbacks.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then you go and get Mason Graham and cool.
I was gonna say that's my question. It felt like he was the very already he was a very boring pick, and then people are shaming him, posting the videos of him not looking athletic, running around the circle. He's vomiting. I assume he's not a very, very exciting prospect to have. D tackle, Sean?
Not in the off season, but if he can be good, we'll have a top 5 line most likely with Myles Garrett. So.
Yeah, no, and the front 7, I think for the Browns, obviously a point of strength there. You look back at some stuff that maybe hey, they were 3-14, maybe you get some regression. They were -22 in turnover differential, which is usually something that I see Dave's just face squinted up like, God, why do you have to remind me? That's usually something that bounces back. But again, are you going to start one of the rookie quarterbacks at some point? The Jim Schwartz defense, which to me as an Eagles fan, when he was there, it kind of frustrating in times because it doesn't feel like it's great at generating turnovers, maybe like solid defense, high floor of a defense, but doesn't specialize in creating turnovers, which can be frustrating at times. What do you think they do quarterback day one? Like who's the opening starter when you guys kick off against the Bengals?
Today I'd say Flacco. How do you, this city loves Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Why not?
So like just from even a PR move, like if you put Kenny Pickett out there, one of these rookies, like if they suck, there's going to be Flacco cheers. And like, that's so sad. Like just cheering for like a 45-year-old man, like to be our savior for the year to get us to 6 wins. Like that's going to be tough.
Well, the idea that Joe Flacco chant gets going at the stadium is both very funny, but something just totally Browns. Like if there is one fan base that would be, because I go on the Browns subreddit before the team preview, kind of get a pulse check of where the fan base is at. And yeah, the optimism is surrounding mostly Joe Flacco. Like there's a lot of memes of watching the 2023, like do I want to have sex with my wife or watch the 2023 Joe Flacco highlights? So it's very optimistic Flacco fan base. Yeah.
Well, it's very easy to love, and I think it's funny because I found myself comparing all of the situations in Cleveland to the situations in New Orleans, just because they were the first 2 teams.
Yeah,
we did, and it's like, oh well, you have a coach who generally knows what they're doing. I'm fine with the coordinators, even if you don't love them. There's a lot of veteran players, some dogs on the defense. I think the Browns will do the right thing and start Flacco because, like Dave's saying, you can't not start Flacco. You have to. Flacco has to be eliminated with his own doing, aka injury. Then the crowd will be fine with it until he's healthy again. So maybe it's a team where you break it into 3 chapters. You have the Flacco opening.
Yeah.
You have whoever in the middle, the
bridge,
verses,
the Flacco bridge,
which will be the Pickett. Pickett's the bridge,
and then whatever rookie,
the
right?
bridge to nowhere.
2-week bridge.
2-week bridge to either Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel.
I am wearing a shirt with a bison on it.
Okay.
In honor of Shedeur, who played for the Colorado Buffaloes. Somehow they still mistaken the animal they use as a mascot. But yeah, I don't know who's going to be that's the thing. Who's the third quarterback? Stefanski will be fine. I mean, if this was our friend in the North, we would love Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel, just like we love JJ McCarthy. No matter what happens, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Kind of feel the same way about this Browns offense as much as Dave wants us to be sour.
Well,
No,
here's
dude,
what
I think. Like, look, you look at this quarterback room, and all right, I'm going to not go negative for a second. Like, I think, I think Stefanski really wanted Dylan Gabriel because he's very quick on his feet. He can run the offense. It was a weird pick. Like, no one, like, when he got drafted in Cleveland, we're like, what is going on? But they like all of these guys, and I think they'll all start at some point this year, which isn't going to be great for our over under. But dude, we're high on Shedeur Sanders as well. So like, just throw them all out there, see what sticks, and then hopefully, we'll probably draft another quarterback next year.
Well, it's a weird thing because you draft Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur. That means like at some point you want to see them start some games. I think as a fan, right? And Andrew Berry, you drafted these guys. You gotta want to see them play. And Shedeur, I understand certainly the critiques of Shedeur, and we're discussing this in the office. But I would say, he went from FCS then to FBS. I thought he improved pretty good from where he was at to where he ended up. Certainly shouldn't have been the number 3 pick overall, and whatever happened now. How he handles it, how he handles kind of being humbled, or at least he should have been humbled. That I think really will say a lot. Like if he truly has a crazy work ethic and maximizes his talents, maybe he does end up being the guy. There is an up case for Shedeur Sanders. Where's the fan base at, Dave? Like I know they love Flacco. They probably want Flacco to start. Are there some Dylan Gabriel stands in Browns land? I know Shedeur has like a weird cult following, but where do you think the fan base is at? Like what's a dream scenario for the fans?
I think it's Flacco starts, Shedeur comes in after, and he's the quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
There's a few people that are like, oh, Dylan Gabriel, really, great at processing reads, and he can throw it, and he's, he could be okay. But I think ideally it's Flacco. Flacco's my age. He gets hurt a few weeks in, pulls a hamstring or whatever. And then Shedeur comes in and saves us. That's high in the sky.
Yeah, I mean it's the uphill battle of like basically the list of second round or worse quarterbacks to have success recently is Jalen Hurts. So not a ton, if you look at the last like 8 draft classes, like they basically cut it off before Dak gets drafted. It's an uphill battle. So yeah, you need the Shedeur as a hater of Shedeur in college. You need him to have the chip on his shoulder, which I'm not loving the Deshaun Watson mentorship. I'm hoping that was just an Onion article.
Took him under his wing.
But not loving the speeding either. That means you're still driving your nice car. Like if I was Dion, I would have taken away all his nice things, made him drive a beater. Be like, you embarrassed me. You embarrassed this family. Now go earn
Show
your
up
name.
in a Hyundai Elantra.
Take his name off his shirt. No Sanders on your back. You got to earn that name back.
I did see in the Brown subreddit they pointed out that LeBron James also was cited for speeding at age 23.
Oh wow!
So they were
parallels are insane.
They were trying to make a case there, which I really. But looking at the rest of the draft class, Quinshawn Judkins, I like the pickup. Now, certainly Dave shaking his head once again. Unfortunately, we'll see if he's suspended. Obviously, massive red character flag popping up here with the domestic violence allegations. We'll see what happens with that. We were big Harold Fannin stands. Kramer thought there was a outside chance he maybe even suck into the first round at a Bowling Green, that tight end. If you bring in Tommy Reese, who I think is probably a better match for Stefanski as far as like offense and what they want to run. They run some multi-personnel stuff. You get something out of Judkins. You get Jerome Ford. You maybe even Dylan Sampson, and you give Joe Flacco some easy play action with 12 personnel, and him and Njoku fan. Like there is an upside case.
We haven't even mentioned Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Browns fans would absolutely love that because we love Njoku.
Yeah.
Fannon's from Canton, like he's a Browns fan. So like if he could be above average and you put both of them on the field, like that would be such a huge win for Stefanski.
And I would and going back to Stefanski, why, we just talked about the Saints and bringing up the differences between the Browns and the Saints. The Saints are starting most likely a rookie quarterback and a first-year head coach. You look at Kevin Stefanski. If you take out last year, which was
that's fine.
It's 1 year. Before that, he was 37-30 straight up as a head coach in Cleveland, 2-time winner of Coach of the Year. So I think he has some pedigree. He's gone over the 5.5 win total every year except last year. I think there is a case for a decent floor for this team.
Completely agree.
We'll see it, but there's just so much variance at the quarterback position. Obviously, I think if it goes wrong, it's because either Flacco gets hurt, they're starting Kenny Pickett, they let one of these rookie quarterbacks, they just give them the keys to the car and say, hey, we want to, and no pun intended there with Shedeur, but like, hey, we want to just do your worst. And hey, you're a rookie, you're going to have some bumps and bruises. I think if it doesn't work out, that's probably where we end up. I mean,
and again, to contrast to the Saints, it feels like the Browns, and granted the offensive line, situation is maybe a little shaky, but it seems like we would have to go a couple layers before we got to the same level of quarterback play down there. So again, comparing the win total side by side, knowing they have a tougher division.
Yeah.
And I see the chat throwing shade at Stefanski. I mean, I
love Stefanski.
Yeah. I think just he runs
crazy.
A good program.
There's crazy. It's crazy that people don't like that dude here. Like he's the he was above 500. Like, that is insane for a Cleveland Browns coach. Like,
it's like
just
we
to
forget.
make it this far.
Yeah, no, I think, it's certain. The expectations in the market are difficult, and you have an owner, Ryan. How many times has this happened as an owner, where the owner goes out of his way to publicly apologize and say, "Hey, Deshaun Watson, paying him all that money, giving away all that draft capital, that was a huge fuck up." When do you see that from an owner? And he only did it, I'm sure, because he had to. At some point, he had to just be like, "Hey guys, well, he also did say us." When kind of bringing some other people into the fold, he didn't truly fall on the sword, but for an owner, that's how bad the Deshaun Watson trade was. That's how bad, and I don't think many Browns fans were behind the Deshaun Watson trade.
It's not very often that an owner comes out and says it was a swing and a miss, and the player's still on the roster.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the highest guaranteed contracts of all time. So for Stefanski to succeed when that was the situation at quarterback, that was the situation draft capital free, cap wise.
In 20 years, I want the Butterfly Effect documentary about the Deshaun Watson deal, right? It caused the NFL to collude with the Players Association. And price fix against guaranteed contracts ever again.
Right. I mean,
can I make a comparison here, Sean? That I'm just realized?
Thinking of one of those domino memes of like Deshaun Watson going into a massage place in Houston, and then the NFL getting rid of the head of player personnel because like it's all somehow tied together.
Are the Browns the Cowboys? Their owner meddled in things and then took accountability and blamed other people for it.
I would say what separates is the fan base.
Well, Andrew Berry seems a little bit better than Stephen Jones, right?
Yeah. And I would say shout out to the Browns fan base. They are a long-suffering, not annoying fan base at all. Cleveland is a great. Do
you remember in Vegas when they were barking at us?
That was pretty funny.
We become a very annoying fan base when we get up to like 6 wins.
Yes.
Like you guys love us if we're at 2, but like we can get very annoying when especially playoffs. Like Pittsburgh thought of us as nothing forever, but when we beat them in the playoffs, like we had to get our licks in while we could.
Yeah. No,
bring the goalpost down to the river.
I do remember good transition here to talk about our buddies at Circa, Ryan. We were hanging out at the Circa when it was like a couple years ago when the Browns were at the Raiders in
it was
Las
last
Vegas.
year.
Yeah, was it last year they played
Yeah.
with the Raiders? And they did a watch party, like a big hangout for all the Browns fans in town. And Derek, the owner, said they're barking too much. We can't get the Browns fans to stop barking. And you're just walking around the casino just hearing, hoo, 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 hoo. And he goes, "We got to get them out of here. What do we do?" I'd never heard of a casino owner being like, I want some of these people to move along. But hey, good reminder. Come out, hang out with the Circa, even if you're a Browns fan. Derek was just having some fun. Sign up. The Circa Million, Circa Survivor. We got 20 million plus up for grabs. Come hang out with us contest weekend in Las Vegas. You can use the promo code SGP15, 15% off your stay at the Circa, the D, or the Golden Gate. All great properties. Downtown Vegas is where it's at. Circa is it's just a hell of a lot of fun, and getting those contests, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, very fun. Even Circa Grand DC Meal, 100K entry, millions of dollars up for grabs. Come say hi. And of course, if you're signing up for the football contest, go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP. Get you $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by Underdog. That's right. Best Ball Mania is happening. Ryan, what is your most drafted Cleveland Browns player over on Underdog Fantasy for Best Ball Mania? $15 million in prizes, $2 million to first.
It's probably Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, Cedric
Maybe
Tillman.
Harold Fannin. There's not a lot of it, but I have. We didn't get into it, but Harold Fannin doing some big slot stuff this year.
Harold Fannin could be
The slot. How's the
could
slot?
be a very fun first touchdown play week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's put it this way: I think it could be closer to like Likely and Andrews than a backup tight end situation.
Yeah, and that's fantasy wise, that's my only case against Njoku is that they might be getting Fannin involved in the passing game, and it might eat away from some of his workload there a little bit. Head over to underdogfantasy.com, use the promo code SGPN, get you $1,000 up to $1,000 first time deposit offer and a special pick over on the pick'em underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Hanging out here with Dave from Big Play Network. Obviously, if you're a Cleveland sports fans, you're well aware, I would assume, of Big Plays Network. They're also in Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh launch coming soon. When does Pittsburgh go live, Dave?
Yeah, we're starting Steelers show on the 28th of this month. Getting ready. It's something else going to Pittsburgh as a Cleveland fan, but yeah, we got a couple of really good hosts that are going to be launching there, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah,
I can only imagine there has to be some inter-office, obviously, like
rivalry,
whatever the team building activities. It has to be a little Cleveland Pittsburgh.
And they got a bunch of great shows over at bigplay.com. Get started there, but the Josh Cribbs show,
and you guys discovered Jameis last year, so congrats to that.
I mean, your name is on a tremendous amount of amazing Jameis content. What was him going to the drive-through? I'm blanking on the drive-through. Yeah, that was just awesome. Like Jameis, when he is loving something, I mean, that speech he gave about playing in the snow.
Yep.
Watching the Browns, I think that was, at least for me and maybe as fans, that game, him going for it there in the end zone, the speech he gave about the 4 horsemen getting ready for battle. That was the most fun Browns moment of the season. Dave, what was your yeah, right? Like that was, and it was just awesome old school football.
Yeah, Jameis is one of my favorite people ever. So I'm super jealous of Ryan that he is reconnected with my boy. But yeah, I wanted to keep Jameis just because we knew what a shit show it's going to be at quarterback this year. It's like, just have 5.
Yes.
Let's just go. Maybe no kicker. Just bring in another quarterback. Keep Jameis here.
And he would be he's just great vibes, I would imagine, for the quarterback.
Just all the stuff I'm reading in New York. Well, and he off to a hot start in New York, calling the white guys in the locker room seasoned. So Cam Scadaboo, Tommy DeVito,
describing the Italians there. All right, Kramer, what are we looking at?
The Italians and and Jackson Dart, honorary Italian.
Yeah,
so
according to Jameis, and you're never going to go back on Jameis.
All right, Cleveland Browns also 5.5 on the win total. Can't believe they're longer odds to make the playoffs than the Saints, Sean. Plus 820, minus 1600 to miss. Division 31-1. 130 to 1 to win the conference, and is this a 3,000 to 1, 300 to 1 to win the Super Bowl? Yeah. Macro take. I'm appalled at these prices for the people of Cleveland.
Well, the big picture schedule wise, they are, if you look at according to the win total stuff, they're second hardest schedule there,
it's very difficult.
Depending on and
they're favored only once. You know, they don't exactly have a ton of diversity in the schedule. I believe this is now another team that does not have a Thursday night game, unless my notes are wrong.
We have 0 primetime games.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Well, London. Does London count?
Dude, we're becoming the Jags.
Yeah, the London Jags. All right, let's walk through it. So 5.5. Yeah, what are we doing?
First 4, we got the Bengals at home, which that obviously will create a tremendous amount of people to be eager on Survivor wise to fade the Browns danger. Then a road game against Baltimore. Green Bay coming to town. Non-con road. That's an interesting spot there. At Detroit, a lot of big numbers here. They're catching a lot of points early. They do strike me as the kind of team that might be super undervalued early. Again, they're being basically power rated lower than the Saints, which is difficult for me to understand. So I think there are wins here. I certainly think week 1's winnable. We know that. We've seen that story before.
I mean, we just mentioned Circus Survivor.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Cincy's number. I don't know why, but we'll win week 1.
Yeah, and I would not be playing Bengals in Survivor week 1 as a big road favorite. We saw they always start slow, and to Dave's point, the Browns have their number. I think I got them at least. Is it crazy to say 2-2, Ryan? Because I think that Packers spot could be a little sneaky, decent spot for them as big dogs. The problem is they're coming off the Ravens game, which I don't love that as a spot.
You don't think the Ravens get tripped up in a shootout where Joe Flacco is balling out? Well, seriously,
Joe Flacco revenge game.
Think about those Bengal game last year. They were absolutely not good on the back end of their.
Okay,
yeah. I don't know.
Are you going? What are you doing here, Ryan? First 4.
Oh, I'm definitely taking a 2-2 start.
2-2.
People are gonna hate us for this. We're doing it. We didn't learn anything from last year, Sean.
Dave, what are you doing here? First 4.
Yeah, I think we're a respectable 1-3.
Ooh, maybe I should switch to what Dave said.
Well, I kind of have a feeling of where I want to get to with this team. I don't need them to be 2-2. If they are, that's a plus side.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they get at least 1 win, and I do think they're live week 1 against Cincy. I think that 5.5's a hair high. I think they're live against Green Bay as well.
Make me 1-3.
All right, so everyone 1-3 here, first 4. How's the next 4 looking? Craig?
Minnesota plus somehow Minnesota is favored in Cleveland. That's not correct. That might be the look ahead number of the season. At Pittsburgh, tough spot there. Miami coming to town. Not late as you probably want, but that's an interesting spread. And then at New England, who I do not get this love for New England. Drake May laying 5.5 points against anybody
as a road favorite. I think that's huge. And
no, that's in New England.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, my bad.
So this is where I will say 2.
Okay, you have them 2-2 in this chunk.
I think they can win 3 of those. I'll put the Pittsburgh game to the side because we chop up the NFC North games, and I think they've 3 games they could win there. So I'll say 2-2.
Dave, where are you at with the Browns here? Second quadrant.
I'm with Kramer. I think we're 2-2 there. I think you can easily win that Minnesota game.
Yeah,
that 7.5 versus Miami surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It won't be, you would rather that Miami game in December, but still that's a lot for a finesse team going into
also this is like this. If you want to circle like games Tua could go down in against Myles Garrett and Cleveland's defensive line.
And we should note the Vikings Browns. That one is,
that's the London game.
That's the London game. All right. So yeah, that's
still doesn't matter.
I think now certainly it's interesting because the Vikings play the the Steelers the week before in Ireland. I just and maybe you could make a case of like, oh, that's actually good, but I don't know. JJ McCarthy making his fifth start back-to-back international games against a tough defense. I think
you're making me have less and less faith.
I actually think that's a good spot.
Stay with it.
Right,
I am on 2-2. I think they're 3-5 going into the bye. That feels like a very Cleveland Browns record. 3-5 going into the bye. They have a bye. Yeah, there's still enough hope.
Hope is great
to have your heart broken later on the season.
Hope gets clicks. All right, coming off the bye at Jets, Baltimore at home, at Las Vegas,
at Raiders.
Oh, there you go. And then San Francisco at home. Again, just your basic Sunday games across the board here. Browns getting disrespected by the schedule maker, that old man in the closet. So Baltimore, I'm gonna chop the Browns division games. I officially
really,
yeah, officially.
So you think they're gonna beat the Ravens?
I'm just
at
gonna
home?
do it. I'm just gonna say they're 3-3 in the division.
They've given Lamar fits at times,
and then the rest of these, again, like 2 winnable road games. And I'm very confused in my thoughts on San Francisco. When we saw Kyle Shanahan having a cheap first coach fired price, just made me think. And so these are all winnable games. So I think I have to go 2-2 again.
2-2 again for Ryan. Dave, how do you see these 4 games shaking out?
I think we beat the Jets. It's probably it.
Yeah.
I think probably one in. Yeah, man, Vegas is tough. So let's see. So we'd be 2, 3, 4 wins. Dude, if we were at 5 wins by Vegas,
yeah,
we might come out there with you and celebrate.
Oh, let's go.
That's a great. For this.
Call the circa.
All right, we'll let them know. Dave and the crew are coming, but they have to be at 5 wins going into the going at the Raiders.
We'll set the terms.
So you 1-3 or 2-2 officially, Dave? What are you
doing?
I'm
gonna go 1-3.
1-3.
Shit, now I'm ahead of Dave again.
I like 1-3 for this section because I think, and you either get at the Jets or at the Raiders. I don't know if you get both.
Right.
And I'm looking at that 8.5. I think I like them to cover that spread. I don't know if they're going to win outright. Probably similar with 49ers. Like it'll be a game the Browns probably should have won, and then somehow Brock Purdy pulls out some bullshit pass interference at the end. They kick a field goal. They win by 3. Barely get by the Browns. I feel like I'm describing a 49ers Browns game previously.
Isn't it somewhat shocking at the level of disrespect? It does seem like the Browns have a defensive unit that could potentially control games, and it's again.
But the issue with it is if we're only running 3 plays before they come back.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. That's been our problem in years past. Like Myles Garrett's gassed. So maybe if we can run the ball and just dink it off to Njoku and Fannin, if we could get 6 plays every offensive snap, that would be a win.
Well, and we haven't even really, as we're walking through the schedule, just going back to the quarterback play, how many of these games does Flacco make it to the bye? Is this the Kenny Pickett section? Do they say screw it and just put in Shedeur when they're?
That's what we should really be doing is over under on quarterbacks through this point. I'd say we're at 4.
You're already at QB4 here, which is not. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but not really when you look at what their roster is constructed like now.
I'll even concede as a Shedeur hater though. You want to talk about the best 4th string quarterback in the NFL? Shedeur Sanders, easy.
Absolutely.
And
I think week 13 with San Fran, we'll sign PJ Walker. We'll get a win there.
Well, that's the other thing. He's gotten wins with absolute non-serious NFL, DTR.
Yeah, it's Stefanski, to his credit. Maybe if things don't work out in the NFL, he's going to become a great UFL head coach because he can win with some of these guys that we've seen in and out of the lineup. You look back at some of the other years,
he won from his basement. Remember that?
Yeah, that was
or his attic. I forget. It was basement.
It was debate.
And that to me is where things went awry for the Browns.
Yeah.
Baker finally gets the road playoff win, and not to rub salt in the wounds of Dave there, but can you imagine just sticking what we've seen Baker become in Tampa Bay and keeping that draft capital, keeping that money, keeping all that, and keep sticking it out with Baker? That's obviously a probably sliding door that I
think Baker needed to leave though.
Well, maybe that's
we
true
never
too.
get the Baker we have today.
Where are you at with Baker, Dave?
I love Baker. I don't like to think of what could have been.
Yeah.
I just in my head I'm convinced we would have ruined him for sure.
No, there to Kramer's point, possibly part of Baker's success was being humbled, getting that win against the for the Rams when he signed the day of, he almost needed that bottoming out.
Learning that 1, 2, 3, 4 isn't a good security code.
Yes.
All right. So last 5. So I'm just to confirm, I'm currently at 5 and 7.
Yes.
Is that too aggressive?
Some in the chat are saying I feel good with my 4 and 8 right now. Okay. I feel good.
Last 5, a winnable game at home against Tennessee.
Very winnable.
Again, Tennessee to me is the one team I think I've come to the conclusion, Sean, that could have a lower ceiling or lower floor than the Saints. At Chicago in the cold, a little cold weather on cold weather team. Again, nothing to be. I like a lot of the Cleveland spreads too, Sean, on the look ahead. Then we have Buffalo at home, Pitt at home, and at Cincinnati. So again, chopping the division games up. I'm going to give them that win.
Against Pittsburgh. Yeah.
And then I think they could win Tennessee or Chicago. We don't know what Chicago. I mean, if Chicago is like two paths that are pretty wide apart, and if the path that is bad starts happening, what are they going to be with down this? So 2 winnable games. I'll say they go to another 2 and 3, another 2-win segment.
Yeah, I'm with you on
7 wins.
I'm with you on 2 and 3. I think Tennessee is a good spot for them at home. I think Pittsburgh at home, they probably get that one, and there's a chance they beat Chicago. I don't think that's, Buffalo. Assuming Buffalo needs that, I would. Yeah, that's a tough one to predict. The Browns winning, and then at Cincinnati.
If Cincinnati needs it, what if Cincinnati doesn't need that game? Boom, free win, easy win.
There is a chance, certainly, but I think 2 and 3 for the last 5 games here. Dave, what about you? 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 5 and 0. Where are you at with the home stretch here?
I think we win one of those. And I think it's probably what Kramer just mentioned. It's going to be Cincy where there's no one playing. And then
Shedeur,
we lose out on like a generational quarterback by one selection.
That is a very Browns. This is why you're the Browns expert, Dave, because you're describing a very Brownsian outcome.
Didn't have that. Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Dude, so it's like we've been sitting around at bars drinking and talking about 5.5, and it's like everyone is like they're absolutely going to be over 5.5, and I look at the team and I look at the quarterbacks. If one pans out, sure, but I think they all play this year. I don't think we're getting over 5.5.
What's the sharpest thing to do in the draft, Sean? Draft multiple players from the same position.
Yeah, that's
all about the bullets.
You want to talk about barroom theories? That's always like, what if you draft a lot of quarterbacks? It's like our buddy Decker who said the Chargers should just draft 7 linebackers.
7 linebackers.
That would mean they statistically they will have a linebacker. Next year.
It's a numbers game.
All right, let's talk best bets for the Browns. Before we do, of course, shout out to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you a nice deposit match. The terms and conditions apply on the rollover. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. 100% match up to $1,000. Accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposits, lightning fast payouts using that sweet cryptocurrency. Bunch of NFL futures available right now over at mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN, and we're also brought to you by Rhythm. That's right. You can build your own models for picks, props over on Rhythm, or just rely on their power trends. Their power trends have been killing it. Data-driven picks and props. The MLB power trends been on a nice heater there, looking at 63%. WNBA power trends, similar rate of return. The ROI 20% right now for the newly launched WNBA power trends. Again, download it. Check out the free 7-day trial. You will not regret it. No one has hit me up, Ryan, saying they did not like the 7-day free trial. It's free.
Is it maybe because they're scared of your DMs?
They could be scared, but I said, if you don't like it, hit me up personally. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Kramer, you are coming in officially at 7-10.
Is that too much
for the Cleveland Browns? I don't think so. I just, the Stefanski little nugget I had before last year where they really bottomed out at 3-14, 7-10 was the worst he's done with similar rosters, with similar questions at quarterback. I think if there's any sort of optimism for this Browns team, it has to start with Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like I keep getting back to this point, but we're doing this the teams in the order of crappiest to best.
Yeah,
and just the discrepancy for me between how the Saints shook out and how the Browns shake out to me with similar concerns at quarterback. You just have a professional coaching staff. That
professional coaching staff
been relatively good in spite of an owner that maybe meddles, maybe doesn't. And yeah, so it just seems like the floor. And I think maybe they win a game they're not supposed to. While like the Flacco early stint is going to be an interesting time for them to pluck some upsets, I think.
Well, they have quarterbacks who have started NFL games, which is a big difference from what we've seen at the Saints.
And won Super Bowls.
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco. Ryan, what are you doing with your 7-10 prediction with the Cleveland Browns? I assume you like the over 5.5 wins.
I mean, I think a couple of things. I think one, though the over seems relatively easy, but are we at all interested, Sean, in a alt over?
Well, if you're playing the upside, I think you have to price the alt win versus the playoff. The playoff is 820.
No, then you just play the make playoff.
Well, what is your alt win suggestion?
I was just going to go to 6.5.
Oh, okay. What's 6.5 at?
Just to get it to plus 160. You'd rather take the 5.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
6-11.
I'll stick with it.
Feels like a very Browns season. There is some
and
upside.
actually no, it's not enough juice extra. Cause what are we getting here? Like plus 1.
Are we getting plus odds on the over 5.5? Yeah. All right. Dave, what about you? You're 5-12
plus 125 to the over.
Is there any fun picks, props? I assume you're on the under 5.5 wins here for your old Cleveland Browns.
I'm gonna emotionally hedge.
It's a good place to be.
And go under on the win total. Yeah, been there before. I did win on Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year before. I saw that's at maybe 850 or something, right around there. Probably not gonna bet it again. Keep that money. But I'll go under on the Browns, and then I'll throw $5 on a conference.
Okay, I like that.
Oh, so that's
just throw it out there.
I like that. He's playing both extremes to the Cleveland Browns because now conference is crazy, but
you got a Super Bowl winner.
You're getting a good price. This is one. Now let's go back to our buddy Joe Flacco here. I feel like we're all pretty similarly aged to
MVP
to our hero here, Joe Flacco.
Yes.
What if he's able to survive the season, and what if they're able to? The offense is going good enough. You get the Tommy Rees OC, a little bit.
He's got experience, coached under Saban.
In 2023, Joe Flacco averaged 7.9 yards per attempt, 323 yards per game.
Oh wow.
Maybe Joe Burrow's a little nicked up at some point. Joe Flacco to lead the AFC North in passing yards, just that stat alone. Now that could get here a number of ways. Maybe the defense, they're playing from behind. They got to throw a little bit more than they would like.
Feels hard.
40-1, Ryan.
That doesn't feel.
You're not in on it, Flacco.
That
need more
seems
than
a little
that.
light.
I'm sticking with it.
Give me 40-1 for him to finish the
Right.
season.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of ways Joe Flacco doesn't play 17 games. I'm sticking with it because it's fun. I want to have a little Joe Flacco upside case, and that's the only. Or do I go passing touchdowns, Ryan, instead?
No, I think you. I mean, why would you? Why would you take two haters to change your opinion?
I'm sticking with Joe Flacco. I want a little Joe Flacco action to pair with my over 5.5 wins. I'm not playing the ceiling or I'm not as high as Kramer there with 7 and 10. But any picks or props, Ryan? Harold Fannin, rookie of the year. That's probably a little crazy. Samson, maybe if Judkins misses a bunch of times, Samson comes in there and plays well.
I think certainly I think Samson could just be an interesting back in general. I mean, they still drafted him in the 4th round, which is decent enough for
the problem is for any of the Samson stuff, Jerome Ford is pretty good, pretty solid. Like even if Judkins misses some time with the suspension or whatever.
They don't love him though. They don't love Jerome Ford. Like he took a pay cut to stay on the team. So they need these new running backs to like.
So maybe in like a fantasy sense, and if they release, Samson's the kind of guy that if they released like a touchdown season prop, but he's more like I'd be looking at him in the touchdown markets early in the season. Here's the question: like if Flacco, to me, this offense is completely competent as long as Flacco is out there, and maybe they're not competent if he's not out there. Their point total is 325.5, which is up considerably on the 258 they scored last year, but it's only 19.1 points per game. I mean, how many games of Flacco scoring 30? You could see them putting up points early in the season too. Not particularly scared of any of those defenses they play in the first 5 weeks until maybe Minnesota and Brian Flores, but we know Flores defenses can get plucked for big yardage. So maybe and based on my spring reading, Sean, it does seem like the Browns are going to try to play with some type of pace or a little bit up tempo at times. Which again, they have a great defense. So I don't know if that's always the good thing to Dave's 3-and-out point earlier, but if they're playing a little bit more up tempo, their games are also going to be a little bit higher scoring, which means maybe there's more opportunity for Joe Flacco to play garbage time, chuck it down the field to Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I guess
so. Over 325.5 points.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I'm fine with the over 5.5 wins because I do think there's some versions where this team could win ugly, and you have going back to the bigger point, which makes this team, a little tougher of a handicap. The fact that they drafted 2 quarterbacks that they want, like to me, going into next year as a Browns fan, as the GM, you kind of want to know what you have in Dylan Gabriel and or Shedeur Sanders, at least have some insight.
Doesn't matter. They're 5th rounders.
I don't know. I think you're going to want to have at least some clarity of what you're going to do quarterback wise next year. And you drafted these guys. I think you want, to Dave's point, like I think
Dylan Gabriel's the Bo Nix of this year. Maybe he comes in and runs the offense well.
I don't know. I'm not in on the points because I think there's ways they win ugly. I'll just take the over 5.5 wins. My Flacco most passing yards AFC North, in spite of the laughs and chuckles from my fellow hosts here. And Dave, you are on the under 5.5 wins and the Browns to win the AFC at 130-1. And Dave, we're gonna hold you to it. If they have $5 sprinkle there.
Oh no, we're getting a paper ticket.
Oh, we're gonna get you a paper ticket at the Circa. So if you cash it, you got to come out to Circa. And I'm telling the guys at Circa, if the Browns have 5 wins come week 12, you're definitely coming out there. You would love stadium swim. It's a good hang, Dave. I think you guys would have fun. Browns fans always welcome. Just limit the barking to like 2 straight hours.
Barking inside on Fremont Street.
Yeah, it was.
keep the beers down to 2 to 3 beers. You'll be all right.
Man, awesome time as always. Again, make sure you check out bigplay.com. All things Cleveland, and now all things Cincinnati, coming soon. All things Pittsburgh. So do a great job covering those teams, the sports, tons of great content, very good shows. YouTube, wherever you get your shows, just pop in Big Play. And Dave, I feel like fellow OG. I feel like we've both been at the content game for a long time. Hats off, all the success. Keep up the great work. And Ryan, of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, Stack of the Money Green. He's Ryan.
Yeah, we've definitely been doing it before. It was cool.
Kramer, let it ride.